What if I told you that one of the greatest civilizations in human history, renowned for its stunning architecture and advanced mathematics, mysteriously vanished, leaving behind only ruins shrouded in myths and unanswered questions? The might of the Maya, who once thrived across Central America, with cities teeming with life, culture, and innovation, has captivated our imaginations. But what really happened to them? Was it a slow decline or a catastrophic event? Stay with me, because by the end of this exploration, you'll gain fascinating insights into the rise and fall of the Maya that you never expected. The Maya civilization flourished for thousands of years, culminating between 250 and 900 AD, during what is known as the Classic period. Their achievements in mathematics, astronomy, and writing were nothing short of remarkable, setting them apart from many contemporaneous civilizations. Cities like Tikal, Palenque, and Copan were marvels of architecture, featuring towering pyramids and grand plazas, bustling with trade and artistry. Despite this prominent position in history, many of these once great cities became abandoned, leaving behind haunting silence. You might be wondering, how could a society so advanced and sprawling simply disappear? Archaeology is our window into the past, revealing a trove of evidence that tells the story of the Maya, a narrative filled with unexpected twists and revelations. Excavations across Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, and Honduras have unearthed not only ruins but also artifacts that shed light on their daily lives, religious practices, and, ultimately, the potential reasons behind their decline. The answers are more complex than you might think, involving a multifaceted interplay of environmental, social, and economic factors. One striking revelation concerns the environment. At its peak, the Maya occupied diverse landscapes, from thick jungles to mountainous regions. They practiced advanced agricultural techniques, including slash-and-burn farming, which allowed them to cultivate expansive fields of maize, beans, and squash, the foundation of their diet. However, this very interaction with nature could lead us to an unexpected conclusion. Could environmental mismanagement have played a significant role in their downfall? It turns out, the enormous demands of a growing population may have strained the land. Imagine a sprawling city, its temples rising high into the sky, yet beneath it lies a crumbling foundation leading to degradation. Deforestation, driven by the need for farmland and construction materials, may have resulted in soil erosion, which subsequently lowered agricultural yields. Think about it, a civilization depending on agriculture, while its land eroded, what would happen to them? Without sustainable practices, food shortages could have caused unrest and instability. But let's hold that thought. You may also find it interesting that ancient Maya cities were often centers of power and prestige, governed by kings and nobles whose status depended on the resources they commanded. This social hierarchy might have incentivized leaders to expand their territories and population, but with such growth came inevitable challenges. The question arises, how did the elite respond to these pressures? Did they prioritize their own lavish lifestyles at the expense of their people's welfare? This brings us to another layer of the Maya mystery, political strife. It's easy to think of ancient civilizations as monolithic entities, but within the Maya world were city-states that often competed fiercely with one another. Disputes over resources, particularly water and fertile land, led to warfare and conflict, fracturing alliances and undermining the unity that is often idealized in popular narratives. You might be surprised to learn that during the height of their civilization, warfare was not just a strategy but an integral part of their culture, often tied to religious beliefs. As power struggles intensified, the elite might have miscalculated their roles in society. Archaeological evidence indicates that during periods of drought, some Maya leaders proclaimed more rituals and wars, thinking that appeasing the gods would bring back rain. Did they pave their own way to disaster through a mix of arrogance and misunderstanding of their environment? Speaking of the environment, let's delve deeper into the climate. Recent studies have revealed that the Maya faced a series of severe droughts during crucial periods of their civilization, including the years leading up to major city abandonments. Climate models suggest that these dry spells were not mere anomalies, they were part of a prolonged cycle that could have drastically impacted agricultural output. As crops failed and food became scarce, would the population's frustration grow? Here's something else you didn't expect. Archaeological findings suggest that, contrary to the popular image of the Maya as passive victims of environmental cataclysms, they exhibited remarkable resilience and innovation. Some Maya communities adapted to harsh conditions by relocating or diversifying their agricultural practices, showcasing their ingenuity. Evidence shows that while many cities like Copan fell silent, some areas saw the emergence of entirely new settlements with different agricultural strategies and family structures. But what happens when the heart of a civilization beats weaker? With food shortages and warfare decimating populations, how did the religious practices of the Maya adapt to their newfound realities? The intricacy of the Maya pantheon reflects possibly the greatest irony. As their cities fell into despair, the importance of religion may have only intensified. The divination practices of the Maya, deeply mysterious yet profoundly important, possibly reflected collective anxieties about climate and social instability. To add another layer to this rich tapestry, consider the concept of interconnectedness. The Maya were not isolated, they traded and interacted with neighboring civilizations, such as the Olmec and Toltec. This brings us to the question, did external influences play a role in their decline? It's intriguing how connections can carry both cultural exchange and conflict. As trade routes faltered in times of distress, so too might the spirit of social cohesion. How did the loss of these networks impact their ability to adapt? You may have heard of the collapse of the Maya civilization, but this term is somewhat misleading. It suggests a neat ending, a single moment of downfall. In reality, the Maya evolved. They fragmented into smaller, more resilient communities, retaining their rich cultural identity despite the collapse of their once great cities. Regions adapted to new ways of living, which challenges the notion of complete disappearance. As we weave through the history of the Maya, it's fascinating to recognize that even today, their descendants still live in these areas, preserving languages, traditions, and resilience that reflect an enduring legacy. So, the real question arises, did they truly vanish, or did they simply transform? Returning to our starting premise, let's synthesize these insights. The collapse of the Maya civilization wasn't a simple story of failure, it's a complex narrative shaped by environmental, social, and political factors. Deforestation, climate change, and internal strife converged to challenge a civilization that was once at its zenith. Yet, amidst hardship, they demonstrated incredible resilience and adaptability through their cultural evolution. As we draw closer to our conclusion, let me leave you with this thought. The ancient Maya civilization reminds us of our own vulnerabilities to environmental change and societal pressures, mirroring contemporary challenges. The question persists, how can we learn from their journey? Their story is not merely a history lesson, it's a cautionary tale about sustainability, community cohesion, and the consequences of neglecting our planet. So, what really happened to the mighty Maya? They may have faded from the heights of grandeur, but they certainly did not vanish. They endured, adapted, and evolved in the face of adversity, leaving a profound influence that continues to resonate today. As we look back on their story, we are compelled to recognize the intricate tapestry of human history, where lessons of the past can guide our future. In the end, as we stand at the intersection of history and archaeology, we find ourselves intimately connected to these ancient peoples. Their struggles reflect our own, their resilience inspires us, and their story is not just a tale of the past, but a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. So, the next time you hear the name Maya, remember, the real journey lies not in their collapse but in their remarkable adaptation through centuries of change. A journey that, believe it or not, never really ended at all.